Hey, and welcome to my channel. I am Esther. Before we get started, you need to know that you are absolutely beautiful and worthy of all the goodness in the world. Today we are talking about aging skin and how we can change our makeup routine as we get a little bit older. I am 31 years old and I am starting to notice some signs of aging, like fine lines and uneven skin tone, enlarged pores, things like that. And I know the older I get, that is just going to continue. Many of you watching might be in your 30s, 40s, 50s, or even older. So I wanted to give you some really helpful tips on how to change up that routine to embrace your aging skin and help it to glow a little bit. There is nothing wrong with aging. It is natural. If you are someone who gets Botox or things like that, that's cool. I haven't gotten to that point yet, but I do know that I've had to change my makeup. Hopefully these tips and routines will be helpful to you as you notice your changing skin as well. I would love it if in the comments you would tell me your age and any changes in your skin that you've noticed as you've gotten older. I would love to get feedback from you on what things I can talk about going forward. And while you're in the comments, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and hit the notifications bell so you don't miss any of my future content. Let's jump right in. So what I am going to do is on this half of my face, I am going to do my makeup like a teen or 20 something would do their makeup. And on this side, I am going to do it how I feel like is really helpful as your skin is aging. So now I want to say before I do anything, if you disagree with me or you don't want to follow these rules, that is okay. The beautiful thing about makeup is that it is art and you don't have to follow any rules. There aren't any rules. So you do whatever you love, and if you're a full coverage babe and you're 55, that's cool. This is just what I've noticed for myself and a lot of the women that I have in my life that want to know how best to change their routine for aging skin. You're gonna see at the end how different my skin looks on both sides of my face and how I think how much better this side is gonna look based on the fact that I am over 30 and I am showing some signs of aging. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're going to prime our face. I'm gonna prime with a strobe cream. This is the MAC strobe cream. I had a little bit of concealer and mascara on this morning, so I'm just gonna take that off really quick before we get started. Okay, now we can start. So we're gonna do the left side with a brush. On the other side of my face, I'm going to use actually a combination of two primers, and these are two of my favorite primers. The first one is the IT Cosmetics Oil-Free Makeup Gripping, Pore Refining and Hydrating. It's a mouthful. The second one is the Milk Makeup Hydro Grip Primer. I feel like this does a great job of keeping my makeup on, and that is something I need. So I'm just gonna do a little dab of both and mix them together because I feel like the combination hydrates, grips, and fills in my pores. So I'm mixing these together and I'm just gonna put this on this side of my face. All right, next we are going to do foundation. So on the left side, the 20-something side of my face, I'm going to use this Clinique Beyond Perfecting Foundation and Concealer. This is definitely a full coverage product. It's a great product if you need more coverage. So first I'm gonna take the doe foot applicator and I'm going to apply a generous amount onto my skin. And then we are taking the brush and we are gonna use that. And I should have pinned my hair back because now I have foundation in my hair. I just washed it last night. All right, there's the full coverage half. On the other side of my face, I'm going to take the IT Cosmetics Your Skin But Better Plus Skincare. And this is a Waterlight Medium Coverage Natural Radiant Finished Foundation. And I am going to use a sponge for this side. I feel like my skin definitely works better with a sponge. And what I like to do is take my setting spray, which again, this is IT Cosmetics. I feel like they have great products for aging skin. And I spray a little bit onto the sponge and kind of squish it a little bit, and that just helps the makeup to grip better, stay better. And because you are hydrating your skin while you are doing everything, you're going to minimize the signs of aging naturally. So I am gonna take a little bit of this on here. We're gonna need just a couple pumps. I think I do about 3. It's a very thin, like it says, natural foundation. So we're just gonna dab this into the skin. You can already see that it's a much more natural look on this side versus this side. Again, there's nothing wrong with full coverage if you like that. I just feel like the more natural you can make your skin look when you're aging, the less aging it looks, the less old it looks. And I don't know how well you can see this, but I feel like my pores are much more visible with this foundation, even though it's full coverage, than with this one. And because I did apply that pore filling primer, I think that made a big difference too. Next up, we have concealer. On the left side, I am going to be using the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define. All right, and taking that same brush that we used for foundation, we're going to buff that in. On the other side, I am going to be using the Pharmacy Full Coverage Liquid Concealer. I know that it says full coverage. It really isn't. It's actually quite light to medium coverage, to be honest, but I do really like it. So we're gonna just apply a few dots of that to the areas that need a little bit of concealing. We're gonna be very light-handed with it and just put it very, very sparingly. And then again, taking our sponge and patting that gently into the skin. We never want to pull the skin or yank it, making sure that it really works into your skin and looks natural. And there we go, we have a nice natural finish on this side. Next, we're going to set. Now, when you are wearing the amount of makeup that I am on this side, that full coverage, you really have to set. I'm gonna use a really popular drugstore brand, the Maybelline Fit Me Loose Setting Powder. I am gonna take my sponge for this because oftentimes this is how younger women do it. They're going to bake their under eye. So we're gonna put a good amount of powder under our eye. And don't get me wrong, it can really brighten, but it definitely looks a lot less natural. And then we will dab this all over the rest of our face. Taking a big fluffy brush, I'm gonna just dust off any excess that we do have on that side. On the other side, I am going to very lightly set with the IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Pores Translucent Setting Powder. So I'm just putting a little bit into my cap here, and I'm just going to take a very small amount on my sponge and just tap it gently under my eyes, just to set it and prevent creasing into those fine lines. And then I will take a very small amount on that big fluffy brush, and I am just going to lightly dust that on the rest of my face to give myself a nice smooth finish and help to reduce the appearance of those pores. On the left side, I am going to use an Ombre Radiance blush by IT Cosmetics. You can see this is well loved. It's a very beautiful blush, but it definitely has radiance. And one of the things with aging skin and large pores, fine lines, things like that, that you want to try to avoid is too much shimmer, because it is really going to show the pores. So I'm gonna take this on a small brush here and put this on my cheeks. If you look, I'm hoping that you can see how much it really enlarges my pores. On the other side, I'm gonna take this mini blush by the brand Sugar, and it is a more kind of neutral color. And I'm just gonna take a similar brush, tap that in, tap off the excess, and just very lightly tap that going upwards. And you wanna make sure that as your skin ages and kind of starts to droop a little bit, that you are applying your makeup a bit higher up on your face. So if you are younger, you can kind of go down to the apples of your cheeks and up, whereas if you're older, you kind of want to start up higher, closer to your natural bone here, and really use that as a guide for blush. And I find that using a stamping motion like this versus a sweeping motion gives a nice natural look. Now for contour, you will notice a lot of younger women really going in heavy with a contour, and I will show you why you don't want to do that as your skin is aging. But on the left side of my face, I am going to contour that way. I'm just going to use this shade in this little Pharmacy palette. It's a nice shade, and I'm going to take more of a dense brush that is specifically made to push up into those cheekbones, and we're going to use that. So I'm dipping in relatively heavy, and then I'm going to create a pretty drastic line here. I'm going to buff it out. On the other side, I'm going to take a bigger brush by Morphe, and I'm going to use the IT Cosmetics Your Most Beautiful You Anti-Aging Matte Bronzer, Luminizer, and Brightening Blush. And I'm going to use the bronzer in this palette. And what we're gonna do is, keeping in mind that we want to be wearing our makeup a bit higher as our skin gets lower and sags, we're going to use this and push it right up in to that natural bone that's right there, and very lightly buff in just a little bit of contour to give your face some shape. I'm gonna do the same thing just along my hairline and anywhere where your skin would naturally get sunlight. Just very, very soft. The other thing that I didn't do on the other side, which I will do really quick, is contour the side of the nose. There's nothing wrong with contouring your nose. I think it's a great way to make your nose look smaller, and if you don't know this, your nose keeps growing as you get older, so it may get bigger. So I'm gonna take the narrow end of this brush and just pretty heavily contour this side of my nose. Back to this side, I'm going to very, very lightly tap into this and just dust a little bit on the side of my nose here. The other thing is to take your brush, again, very lightly, in a kind of a bigger fluffy one, and contour right here along your jawline and down, because it is going to take that sagging skin and make it look a little bit more sculpted naturally, though, without looking like you're wearing a ton of makeup. Just a very light dusting along that jawline. Now moving on to highlighter, I am going to use a very, very glowy highlighter. Again, from this Pharmacy palette, I'm going to be tapping into that middle color with a highlighter brush and really going to town on the highlight. And then doing the top of the lip here and kind of the center of the nose. It's hard to do it on just one side when it's in the center. We're very highlighted on that side, as you can see. On the other side, I'm gonna go back into this IT Cosmetics palette and use the highlighter that is in there. It's a little bit more soft, and we're going to tap off all of the excess. We want very, very little, and you can skip this step altogether. I know some older women don't want any glow, but this is very, very subtle compared to a kind of a blinding highlighter. Just sweeping it on the very upper corner of the cheek and above the eyebrow, and then going back in to gently sweep across the eyelid. Now, I do recommend taking this down the middle of your nose very, very lightly, just to give yourself a little bit of shape, very lightly. I'm not talking about a line down the middle of your nose. You can do the upper lip and the chin as well if you want. It's totally preference, but I'm hoping that you can very clearly see the difference between this highlight and this highlight. Next, we're gonna do our eyebrows. So on the left side, we are really going to fill them in, carve them out, make them very well shaped. And on the right side, we're going to do a more natural look. So on either side, I will brush through them. And I do love this product. This is the IT Cosmetics Brow Power Super Skinny Pencil. It's a great product. I know I talk about IT Cosmetics a lot, but they are really great products. So on this side, I am just going to really shape them pretty heavily. And on this side, I am just going to fill in a couple of sparse areas and leave most of it natural. Already they look a bit different. Now I'm going to go through them with a clear brow gel. I don't have any super extreme eyebrow products because I don't really do my eyebrows like that, but just to give you the idea. So this is the NYX Control Freak Eyebrow Gel. I really like this product. I will just go ahead and put it on both sides. This I'm gonna keep more concise and kind of that drawn on look, and on this side I'm going to make them a bit more fluffy and natural looking. And you can see the difference between the brows. Certainly this looks a lot more natural. Nothing wrong with this side if that's what you like, but I prefer the more natural look. Now for eyeshadow, I'm gonna use the same transition shade on both eyes, but I am going to do them differently. So I'm going to use, this is a Buxom palette. This is one that I made myself. You can do that on their site, and I'm going to take this color. This is my favorite transition shade. I'm not sure what the name of it is. I can try to find it and link it below for you if you like it. So on this side, we're really going to go back and forth in that windshield wiper motion. And when you are younger and your eyes are more wide open, you can do this. So just back and forth. That's all I'm doing. We're not going to do an extravagant eye look today. I just want to give you a couple of pointers for this, and very lightly on the outer corner as well. Now on the other side, what I'm going to recommend to you is that you shape it a little bit differently. So because our eyes tend to droop down the older we get and we get more skin here, I'm going to recommend that you pull it up just a little, not hard. You never want to tug at your skin hard, but just very gently lift that up and go more straight out on the outside than you did on the other eye. So more straight out as opposed to down here, going back and forth like this. So kind of come straight out to, and your finger can kind of be your stopping point, so you don't need to worry about going too far with this. It is just a transition shade, so it should look pretty natural anyway. But if you can tell, this eye looks more lifted than this one. It looks more open, a little bit brighter than this eye, and that is simply because we went straight out instead of like this. I'm gonna go back in and take a little bit more and almost create kind of a V. So we're going here, straight out and down, just very, very subtle and light. And there we go. Can you see the difference between these two? It is very, very noticeable. Next, for the under eye, I'm going to take that same shade on the right side and just run it very softly, buff it softly under my eye. Again, you naturally have darker color under your eyes, and it actually helps to define your eyes, so you don't want to lose that. We're just very softly going underneath the eye. On the other eye, I'm going to take this darker brown here, and we're gonna go in and do the same thing, but with a darker color. Next, we're gonna do eyeliner. So on the left, I am going to do a bit of a wing liner, and then on the right, we're gonna do a more natural liner in brown. This is the Dragon liner. It's from my BoxyCharm video. If you haven't seen it, I'll link it below. It's a great liner, but it is a felt tip liner pen. Okay, so we have that winged liner on. Now on the other eye, I'm going to take one of my favorite eyeliners. This is the Revlon Color Stay eyeliner crayon, and it is in brown. It is waterproof. It truly lasts all day. And what I like to do, what I notice is that when you're aging, your eyelashes don't tend to be as long. So what I recommend is that you actually line your upper waterline to give a more defined look around your eye, and this works great with brown because it does look so much more natural. Once you've done that, I'm just going to recommend a very soft line on just the outer about third of your eye, and just bringing it up a tiny bit on the outside to kind of, again, give that lifted appearance to your eyes. Once you've drawn on the majority of it the way you want it, take the other end, the smudger or a brush or whatever you want to use, and smudge it out a little bit. Again, we're going for natural. We are almost done here. In both cases, I would recommend that you curl your lashes. Everybody can use a good curl now and then. I am not a fake lash girl. If I was, I would put some on the left side, and it is totally cool if you want to wear eyelashes. It's just not my jam. So for both, I am going to take my favorite mascara, the Pharmacy Double Lash Extend, and pop that on both eyes. Before we do the lips, we are going to set our face. On the right side, I am going to be using my Your Skin But Better Setting Spray by IT Cosmetics. And I'm just gonna try to hold a line here. This is very hydrating. It has hyaluronic acid, and I am just going to very gently tap this into my skin with my sponge, my damp sponge. I do feel like it gives a much more natural appearance when you do this. On the left side, I'm going to take this Beauty Crop Cocoa Gold Mist, shake it up. It has little gold particles in it, and I'm going to spray that on the other side. The other thing I wanted to do really quick that I forgot was to put a little bit of mascara on the bottom lashes on this side. And last of all, we are going to do lips. Now, there's nothing wrong with a bold lip. I 100% support it. It's not natural looking. So if you're going for natural, especially if you are getting older and you want to look more natural, don't do it. If you don't and you like a bold lip, 100% go for it. So I'm going to take a nice bright red. I am also overlining this side a little bit. I know I look crazy right now. For the other side, I'm going to take the Milk Makeup Kush Lip Glaze. This is great for aging lips and just general hydration. It is, like it says, it's a glaze. It's a lightweight formula that is not a lipstick. It's more of a kind of gloss, but not a shiny gloss. And there you have it. So as you can see on this side, we made those changes, those modifications from the way we maybe used to do makeup, and we have a much more natural look, something that looks more age appropriate. And more than anything, it hides the signs of aging much better. If you continue to do your makeup like I did on this side, I'm hoping that you guys can see. You can see my pores, you can see my fine lines. They're much more defined. It is not as attractive, in my opinion, on somebody who is over 30 as a general rule to do your makeup this way, to do the very full coverage, very blinding highlighter, the thick eyeliner, the defined brows. It's very, very heavy. And when you already have aging skin, you want to do everything you can to, not to hide it, but just to make it a little bit less apparent that you have the aging skin. So don't thick over draw your lips, don't draw in your eyebrows super dark, don't do the wing liner, things like that. Now, please hear me once again as I say that there are no rules, and if you like this side better, go for it. 100% nothing wrong with that. In my opinion, and for women I know, they want a more natural look, and that is why I recommend doing the steps that I did on this side. You can see a very drastic difference between the two. My skin looks much different. I actually feel like this side makes me look older than this side. This side I feel makes me look younger, and I encourage you to embrace your aging skin. We are not meant to stay young forever, but we are beautiful no matter what age we're at, no matter how our skin looks, who we are, where we come from, we are beautiful. So embrace your beauty, embrace your aging, but do take care of your skin and do change up your makeup a little bit to accommodate those changes. Hopefully you found this helpful, and if you have any questions, please let me know in the comments below. Once again, if you haven't already, please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, subscribe to my channel, and hit the notifications bell so that you don't miss any future videos. Don't forget that you are absolutely beautiful and worthy of love, and don't forget to love other people today as well. Thanks so much for watching. See you next time. Bye.